Age fans, people interwebs, it's me, Sam MSG1, or Tony, back for another Starship, the official Starships collection review. Yes, it's not even out in the shops yet, and I got mine today. I'm quite impressed. Still got me vengeance, still annoyed, and what's even made me even more annoyed is the fact that they've emailed me saying that the next special's out in 21st or something like that of March, and I'm like, well, I ain't got my vengeance yet. I don't care about the Klingon abomination. I want my vengeance first. But anyway, this week's viewing, listening delectations, we've got the USS Enterprise NCC-1701-B. Yes, the first Enterprise we've had since Enterprise E in issue 20, I think it was, 23, something like that. So it's been a while since we've had an Enterprise. We're still missing the original Enterprise, and the Enterprise A, and the Enterprise C, and Enterprise J as well, apparently we're getting, so that should be cool. So, on to the magazine itself. Specifications: USS Enterprise NCC-1701-B, class Excelsior, launched 2293, length 367 meters, decks 32, crew 502, weaponry type 8 phaser arrays, photon torpedo launchers, and the captain was John Harriman. And we got a lovely CG render of the ship itself. And there we go. It is the same one from the front, but that's no bad thing at all. That is no bad thing. It's lovely. The Enterprise B was slightly longer than the USS Excelsior NCC-2000. The ship upon which it had bbeen based. This had a fin on the back of the warp nacelles. The other major differences, but the curvature of the hull around the main deflector dish was rounder and more prominent. And we get some various images from Star Trek Generations there, another CG render of the ship. That's cool. That's a lovely shot. I do like that shot. That's pretty cool. And then we've got, which they don't seem to do a lot these days, is the Master Systems display. I'd like to see more of these. I know some of the ships don't even have these, but whenever there's one available, please, I'd like to see this. This is cool. I didn't know that the warp core was here. I always thought it was in here. Who knew? But I love this ship, mate. I could sit and stare at it for hours. In fact, I might even get a second one of these magazines just so I can cut this out and frame it, because it is rather nice. I do like it. Then we've got some more text specs there, telling you all the major points of the ship. No top-down section, bit strange, but there you go. Let's see some data feeds. The deflector dish was used to clear the debris in front of a ship during spaceflight. In 2293, Captain Kirk modified the deflector relays so that the dish fired a resonance burst, which freed the ship from the pull of the Nexus. Captain Montgomery Scott described the Enterprise B as a damn fine ship, even though he had described the earlier Excelsior, upon which it was based, as a bucket of bolts. In keeping with centuries-old tradition, a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne, vintage 2265, was used to name the Enterprise B at its launch ceremony inside Federation Space Dock NAR 30974. I didn't know that. According to the Next Generation Technical Manual, the Enterprise B went on to explore the Grumari sector, charting 142 star systems and making contact with 17 new civilizations. Yes, and then we've got designing the Enterprise B. Now, that's a lovely drawing there by John Eves. That's fantastic. Now, the reason why the Enterprise B was an Excelsior class ship, right? There's a couple of reasons. Number one, you can see Starfleet had just commissioned the Excelsior a few years beforehand. So they wanted the new Enterprise, after the Enterprise A was decommissioned, to be state-of-the-art, brand new ship, big bastard, that, you know, none of the alien races are going to mess with. Also, in the Enterprise D observation lounge, there were some sculpted ships of various ships named Enterprise, which they changed in season 5 to have a more angular sort of design. So they had to keep it into canon, but to keep it in canon and yet get away with a new design, they came up with this, the Enterprise B. Now, also, even though the damage is here, it appeared here on the ship, I'm going to use this picture as an example. The original Excelsior Studio model, they didn't want to damage. Like they try, you know, they was going to do an optical effect, or they was going to do some other kind of effect to show damage. However, to get away with that, they built this extra wide section around there, so they could damage the ship without damaging the expensive model, and also makes it look like slightly like a Galaxy class Star Drive section, or at least the Galaxy borrowed from that design, but it was the other way around, which is quite cool. And then we've got Crash Landing the Saucer from Generations. So it's the whole filming process of crashing the Enterprise D saucer section. And it was quite cool what they did. They obviously built a full-scale miniature, with a full-scale miniature landscape. There we go, I can't think of the word then, landscape. And what they did was they just mounted it on a gimbal, and they just drove it across, and it was pretty cool. And what they actually used paint. They actually used road paint, because apparently, you know, the kind of paint they put on the ground when they're going to you know, when they get potholes or some kind of damage in the tarmac, they usually come and mark it with a circle or with an X or something like that. They used that kind of paint, so it would not, because in the California sun it would bake and it would change colour and all kinds of stuff. So they used that, and when you see it on screen, it looks like natural sort of landscape. Even though you could get away with it because it's an alien planet, it was Viridian 3, but, you know, there you go. Then we've got On Screen, which, you know, first and only appearance was Generations, although it was never mentioned. It was never mentioned except in Next Generation. Like all screen iterations of Star Trek, the Enterprise B was never appeared in Star Trek. Oh, let me start again. In all screen iterations of Star Trek, the Enterprise B only ever appeared in Generations. It was mentioned in a scene in the Next Generation episode A Matter of Time, when historian Berlinghoff Rasmussen asked Commander Riker what he thought the innovative about the Enterprise B. Although not regarded as Star Trek canon, the Star Trek Lost Era Serpents Among Ruins by David R. George III focused on the Tumed incident. It describes how Captain John Harriman of the Enterprise and the Enterprise B helped avert a war between the Romulans and the Federation. According to the novel, once peace had been achieved in 2311, Harriman stepped down as captain and replaced by its former first officer, Demora Sulu. Malcolm McDowell, who starred as Soren in Star Trek Generations, is the maternal uncle of Alexander Siddig, who is perhaps best known for playing Dr. Julian Bashir on Deep Space Nine. So there you go. There's the magazine, and there's a under ventral view of it, of the Enterprise B. Now onto the model itself. A couple of gripes. I was really looking forward to this one, but I have a couple of gripes. I'll get onto those in a moment. So here's the model itself. I'll just poke myself within a cell, and it fucking hair actually, and they're fucking quite sharp. And there's the model itself. Pretty nice. I don't dislike it, but I've got some gripes. You can't even see it there. There we go. Yeah, 1701-B, USS Enterprise. Missing a phaser bank here. Yeah, it's all very nice on the top there, but the bottom is where it lets it down. You see, all this is unpainted, apart from the sort of the sort of, what colour blue is that? It's a powder blue, I think. Yeah, that's it. There's not a lot of detail on this one, unfortunately. There's no running lights down the side. Well, there are, but they're painted in, and you can't really see them. This is another weird thing. It's got on the outside of the nacelles. You're not going to see it if you do that. It should have NCC-1701-B USS Enterprise. It's blank on both sides, on the outer sides of the nacelles. Now, either I think mine has probably been, oh no, it hasn't. No, because they are put on correctly because they've got this extra fin on the outside. Now, on the interior of the nacelles, they've got the register numbers on both sides, which is a bit of a anomaly, really. But other than that, it's not too bad. I quite like it. They've replicated how it looks in Generations. They give it the frill deflector dish there, the extra warp nacelles, and the extra bits on the nacelles here and there. And it has got a little bit of plastic in there because you can just make it out. Now, this is what gripe I've got with it. Before I did this video, I compared it to the Excelsior we got in issues 9 or 10, I think it was. As you can see, from that perspective, there is no difference apart from the nacelles. The fan thing that's sticking out is a bit too pronounced on this one. Now I compared these to see what, if there's anything different on it, and this one is slightly bigger than this one. And probably not going to see it. I can't talk. What's going on? You're probably not going to be able to see it very well, but I'm going to try and demonstrate it as best I can. Now, if I line up the nacelles, you'll see, right? The nacelle is, there we go, just about level, and you can see the Enterprise B's slightly longer. You can also tell in this picture that the star drive section is also bigger. Now, another gripe I've got, the star drive section on the underside of this one is nicely painted. You've got all nice apps in there, all nice detail, all nice paint apps. You even got the aft torpedo launcher there as well, all nicely painted up. Still the shuttle bay needed a bit of work, but there you go. But you can just make out lots of detail. On this one, there is absolutely no detail at all moulding in. Now, I'm not sure if that's even how it appears, but yeah, it seems like this one has been given more detailing on it. I mean, the source appears to be pretty much the same. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that this one's slightly smaller. I've always liked the Excelsior class, and this is just the same with it, just extra impulse engines on it, really. And it's, it's scaled it up. I mean, alright, you can get away with it saying, yeah, you can see the size difference sort of there. Look, yeah, it's much smaller. A little bit disappointed in that. Elon Musk, what's going on? What's with that? I mean, you can argue that it is an Enterprise, so they give it a bit more respect. But it's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's just, nitpicks, just nitpicks, really, to be honest. And it does come with a plastic connector and the stand, and it says USS Enterprise NCC-1701-B, and it fits to the connector rather snugly, actually. It's quite nice on the stand. But again, the stand's different as well, because this one sort of angles up slightly, and this one's more or less flat. So it's just a bit of symmetry, that's all I ask. But yeah, it's not too bad, really. Like I say, it's an Enterprise. You can't really go wrong with it. It's got some nice bits to it. It's also missing some, like I said, the register numbers on the back of the nacelles. I don't know what the hell's that's about. I don't know if it's a design problem, or the tops of the nacelles have been put on the wrong way, or what. Quality control. If anybody else has got an Enterprise B, please tell me about your nacelles. Please tell me if you've got the same as me, or you've got different ones. I'd like to know. But anyway, that's me. That's the Enterprise B, and I will catch you all later. Bye for now.